Ladies and gentlemen of the boxing world, the entire world, welcome to the Fan Punch Podcast. Welcome back, I should say. We've been off for took another week off. Somebody was on vacation, so had to do what I had to do, though. You know what I mean?
Wasn't me.
It's always me. It's always my fault. I already know. It is what it is. I'm just trying to move and shake, and that's all I do. But yeah, man, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fan of Punch Podcast. I am Johnny Southpaw here with my guy, Apollo Ali.
You already know, man.
What is up? What is up? How are you, sir? I have barely spoken to you. I've been on the beach chilling for about a week. So how are things with you, sir? I've seen some things, on social media and doing interviews and all of that. So give me.
Yeah, I'm just staying busy, man. I mean, I'm not doing, not nearly as fly as the type shit you was on, but I'm definitely, walking my dogs, promoting a new single and getting everybody ready, prepared for the album, So I've been doing a little interviews here and there and just, staying consistent, man. You know how I be.
That's what's up, bro.
Outside of that,
I'm excited, man.
I can't wait. I've been watching press conferences, and all types of shit like that. So,
There's a lot of shit that happened and not a lot of shit that happened. It seems like very hyper focused on a few different fights that are coming up and that just happened. But we were talking about it pre-pod that November should be a good month for boxing.
Great month. Should be a great month.
Yeah, it should be dope. We have a lot of marquee fights coming up over the next couple weeks, I guess. Yeah, we launch right into it. Not this weekend, but next weekend. That's a hell of a set-off fight, honestly.
Yeah.
Seeing Canelo get back in the ring, the current face of boxing, I would say. Some may argue with me, but I would say. But let's not start there. We got to recap a little bit. We missed a couple fights that we just didn't get a chance to really necessarily chop up. One of which we were really, really looking forward to, and that's Shakur Stevenson taking on Jamel Herring. Did you see the fight, sir?
Indeed, I did.
My guy, give me a recap on it. How you feel about it? I mean,
well, Shakur showed up in his back to his original form. I mean, from the fight before, we saw some chinks in the armor in the fight before. This fight against Herring, man, he dominated through and through. This was supposed to be a difficult fight. It's supposed to be a task. Herring is supposed to be the bigger guy, but it didn't look that way at all.
Right.
At all. He actually looked timid in there.
He did. It was crazy to me because it literally is like to me. I mean, same kind of following the same vein of what you said. I mean, Shakur flipped a switch. It was crazy because I don't remember seeing him fight that aggressively. Consistently.
Thus far.
Right, exactly.
And so this is again. So especially following up after the fight that he had previous, this was a hell of a performance for him, and not only that, it was a statement performance, and for the casual fans that maybe have been holders on to the thought of boxing since the Wilder Fury mega fight, maybe they might have caught that fight or might have been just lingering to see, boxing is on, and it's fresh in their mind because of the great fight that they saw just weeks ago. If they were to catch this, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, it's some new up and coming guys that this looks serious."
Yeah,
he put on a show. He made a statement. He gets a lot of flack for being a born fighter. That's deterring him from being a superstar he could actually be, being as though he's so marketable, Olympian. He has all the attributes that go along with the mold and cookie cutter image that they can create for the Golden Boy boxing. Next, not Golden Boy as the brand, but
I got what you mean. Yeah,
term.
The,
you know what I'm saying?
Title, yeah, the title.
Yeah, the quintessential boxer. You know what I'm saying? From
Who's
Olympian.
That, who is that right now? You think? Is there one of those? Like I said, I think that Canelo is the face, but I don't know if he's one of those I don't know. I know like,
not enough.
He doesn't have
not enough
image.
English. Not enough English to complete to complete
That's
it.
Fair.
To complete it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But he's in the position, but he can't get a full grasp on it because of the language and culture barrier. I think. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Canelo has a much more, obviously the Mexican folks love him. But I don't know if America really has a
that guy.
Yeah. I mean, boxing is everywhere else right now. You know what I mean? Boxing is in Mexico. Like the kings of the sport are in Mexico. They're in the UK. And I don't know. I just think there's not really an American standout. Maybe Teofimo, but like even still,
not quite. He's on the cusp. They're all on the cusp.
Yeah. Terrence.
Nobody has emerged. Nobody has fully emerged as that guy. You know what I mean? Not yet.
I agree. I think Shakur is in line, though. I agree with you. I think he, just the fight by itself was exciting. I think Shakur did a lot of really, really good things. I love to see him moving forward. I agree with you. I think Jamel Herring was very timid in there. I don't know if he just didn't like the power or couldn't just figure it the fuck out. Like he just couldn't, he didn't look like the same Jamel Herring that like whooped on Carl Froch. You know what I mean? Like, It was crazy to me. He just Shakur was able to kind of nullify everything that
dominated
that Jamel Herring had for him. I mean, no power
dominated, man.
Yeah, no power. The speed difference between the two of them. Oh my God, it was. I've never. Years. Yeah, I mean, you don't see it against average fighters, but when Jamel gets in there with somebody like Shakur, light years difference. Years difference, bro.
And I love. Shakur's still a young man.
Right.
I love the fact that they're very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
You can say friends if you want to call them friends, but
I think they're friends in the sport. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but what I liked about how serious Shakur was about the night and how he turned all of that off and showed no mercy in applying the pressure to achieve the ultimate goal, which was come out of there with the victory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like seeing that in him, and I like the way he displayed his tenacity, his hunger, and showing everybody like this is what I want to do, this is what I'm serious about, and I got places I need to go, and I don't care who's in the way of that.
I agree. I agree. And he said it before the fight, like you said, he turned all of the friendships, the boxing friendships off, and it was all business. And he did just that. And then after the fact too, you know what I mean? He did what he's supposed to do. Showed the right type of sportsmanship, unlike some things that we've seen recently. Showed the right type of sportsmanship. He went over to his locker room after the fact, gave him his belt, gave Jamel his belt back, and even apologized to his wife, which I thought was kind of, that's some stand-up guy shit, bro. Like
it is. That's G. It's G'd up and she did not want to talk. She was pissed. She's like, yo, why the fuck is he here right now?
Right. As she's supposed to, you know what I mean? I've seen some people that, on social media giving her a little bit of flack for that. But in
the heat of the moment, you can't control that, especially, being somebody's, being in the position she's in. That's hard to deal with. Your husband come back, face all beat in, and y'all supposed to be friends. It's like, well, what just happened? And you're supposed to be
right.
First, she got to deal with the fact that my man just got beat up. Then it's like, but y'all friends, and he a young boy, and he cute, and so I like it. You know what I'm saying? She think about all this stuff. Like she gotta keep the mean face on. Like
yeah. No, it's
my husband up.
It's a weird thing, bro. The sport of boxing is just that. It's a weird thing because you're basically going to war with somebody, but at the end of the day, y'all are just, it's sportsmanship, and it's so odd. It's one of those weird things that it's just, it's kind of like baseball and football. After the game, you shake the other place or other team's hands if you win or lose or whatever.
Yeah, it's the same and everything else, but they're not punching you in the face.
Right, exactly. You're not getting beat up or beating each other up.
Right, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, no. But yeah, bro, I think that was a great fight. I'm excited to see what's next for Shakur.
Shakur looks excellent, man. We keep saying it. He keeps getting stronger and stronger.
That last fight was shit, though. I'm not going to lie. That last fight was really fucking boring. So I was excited to see, watching him walk somebody down, use a defense. Yeah. That was exciting. That was good to see.
And even, he walked out with Quavo. Jamel walked out with Kiss. he definitely won the walkout. Versus he won that.
He can hang his hat on that.
So he won. He won the walkout versus. But even that, I thought was interesting. I thought, the fact that it took so long for them to start, like that gap, like they had us waiting, like this was real main event time. So I'm not mad at that, and I'm glad that he performed to that peak to make it really like worth the wait. I know we want to see him, move along into the pay-per-view star at some point,
Yeah.
I think so. I thought this was a good impression and effort towards that goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think the bigger the fight, I mean, honestly, I think if what's his name? If Oscar Valdez ever takes the fight, we'll see. But if Oscar Valdez takes the fight, I think that's his last non-pay-per-view fight. Because if he fights Oscar Valdez, Oscar has great power, but I don't think he beats Shakur. And I also think that from there, that's the last of that. That's the last of the folks that you get to before you get to that, like that. Not that it's a jump up, but like in the star caliber, it is a jump up. So like, you know what I mean? Oscar Valdez, Jamel Herring, they're bigger names in boxing. But if I ask a rando on the street who those guys are, they probably won't know. But if I ask them who Gervonta Davis or Lomachenko are, they're
better chance. Yep.
Yeah, they're going to know that. And I think at some point we will see that Gervonta Davis fight. And I think that fight is... No, man.
Gervonta versus Shakur?
I think that's coming at some point.
I feel like that's going to be Floyd Zab-esque. You know what I mean? It's going to be remnant of that. Like,
I've been watching.
This is the deciding factor.
I'm finally finishing the Four Kings documentary, and it's been taking me forever to watch it. But like watching that and like kind of trying to relate it to, you know what I mean, fighters from today. To me, it has that vibe of like, I mean, not Hagler Hearns, but maybe I would say
Hagler Hearns is reserved.
Yeah, that's
another fight that we got coming up.
That's never gonna happen. That's never. Wait, what are you comparing that to? Because I'm comparing to Bud and Spence. That's never gonna happen. But
I'll take it with Bud and Porter. Possibly.
Maybe. I mean, I feel
that
like
kind of I'm not saying. I mean, nothing compares to that, bro.
We could see that.
Like, it could be that kind of energy.
It could be. I mean, no one predicted that.
It could be that type of intensity.
Yeah, no one predicted that Hagler Hearns was going to be like that because no one knew that, anybody could take Tommy Hearns' power like that. And then Marvin Hagler came out and did that, and that's what turned it into a firefight. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see with that fight. I don't know. I'm excited for that one though.
Yeah,
I do want to at least talk about some of the undercards. The kid Xander Zayas. I keep saying it. Puerto Rico will have another star in that kid if he keeps doing what he does, because he is, to me, he's everything that the other up and coming Puerto Rican stars are not right now. I think he has power where Jose Vargas, I think is his last name, doesn't necessarily have that much power, and he has boxing ability that Edgar Berlanga does not have.
Right.
I think PR has the opportunity to have another star with that kid. I think Andre Ward said that too. I agree with him. I think that is that kid is a fucking beast. I don't know. Just if you can keep your eye on him, people, keep your eye on that kid, Xander Zayas. He's a fucking good fighter. There was another undercard on there. I forget. I was watching it. I don't know. There was another one I wanted to mention. I forget who the hell else fought on it. I can't remember. I was on vacation mode, but I was watching it. I thought it was some good fights on there. And then also in very recent news, because we're recording this later on in the week, Claressa Shields, man. Claressa just stepped back into the cage last night. Yeah. So she did take her first professional loss. Yeah, man. I don't know.
I wonder how she feels,
I think she put out a comment. I forget exactly what it was. I don't know, man, but
she hasn't suffered defeat before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think she said that she felt that it was she felt that she lost a split decision, so it wasn't like she didn't get her ass beat. Yeah. I think that she's, she's learning, and I think that I'm happy to see that she's embracing the sport as a completely different sport. And what did she say? So she said last night exactly what I just said. I lost a split decision. I didn't get my ass whooped. I also improved. All I'm going to do is go back to the drawing board and keep learning. No one said this journey was going to be easy. MMA is new to me. I'm fighting on a world stage after only 9 months of training. The difference in last night was that I've never had to fight or even train in a cage so damn slippery. It's all learning and just from boxing. It's all learning and just different from boxing. I did a lot of things right last night. I just lost a split decision. So
right.
She says she's coming back to boxing in December though, and continue my undefeated journey there. And MMA, she's not done with. She's gonna get back to MMA next year. So, hey, look, man, I give her all the credit in the world. We've talked about it before. I give her all the credit in the world.
You see a camera?
I got a phone call.
Technical difficulties.
I'll fix that, I guess, in post-production. So I mean, again, I give her all the credit in the world for getting into the cage, taking on actual MMA fighters that are not like walkthroughs or walkovers, obviously given by this, the fact that she lost. It's a different world, man. It's a different sport.
The loss takes nothing away from her or her legacy. Like she said, it's a learning experience, and I would imagine that this would be a whole different conversation, and how she would react to it would be completely different if this was a boxing loss.
Yeah,
her first boxing loss.
Yeah,
but she knows that she's venturing in the uncharted territories, and she's trying to accomplish something that's going to be that hasn't been done, so it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't take nothing away from her for that. Back to the drawing board, take another shot at it.
Absolutely. And of course, I got to bring it up just because I want to give our fair shake to the situation or the assessment. Jake Paul took right to Twitter after the fact. The truth hurts, but it's necessary. Claressa Shields is a loser in MMA, and even more with her prima donna attitude. The fake always get exposed. Losses come when anger and hate take over. Just ask Rousey and McGregor. She spent more time berating Jake Paul than learning jiu-jitsu. She's never been a big draw, and unfortunately for her, she will never be. Amanda Serrano, the GOAT, though, has 30 KOs and 42 fights, 2-0 in MMA, both wins by submission. Congrats to Abigail Montes on the win. I just want to stir the pot a little bit. That's all. Not that it matters.
Claressa Shields will beat Jake Paul the fuck up.
I agree. I'm with you. I think she would. I would love to see them two box, but I don't know. But I'm the only reason I bring up the Jake Paul shit, and I don't give him any credibility for anything, is to ask: are we headed towards male versus female co-ed fights? Is that something that you can see in the possible future?
I never even thought about it. Like
she said she would love to fight him.
No. That's absolutely possible, son. Like where we at right now,
right? That's what I mean.
That can happen. It can happen. I don't see why I wouldn't. I feel like if any other boxing commissions tried to stand in the way of something like that, that would become a protestable issue within itself in today's world.
Yeah.
And even as much sense as it doesn't make or does, you know what I mean? Like, even if we might all feel like, no, this is not something we should do, if somebody poses the idea, it pretty much almost has to happen. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I could see that. And like I said, Claressa Shields will beat Jake Paul the fuck up.
I agree. I think so too. I think if there is any arena or fucking circus that could happen, it would be involving one of the Paul brothers. Yeah. I really feel like if there's any if there's any type of jackassery that it could possibly take place, and not to, this is not something that I would want to see.
Jackassery.
This is nothing I would want to see, like real fighter versus real fighter. I wouldn't want to see a 130-pound man that has boxed like forever, like Shakur, fighting a 130-pound Claressa Shields. I don't want to see that. That's not something I would want to see. I think the only way that we would see this is with whatchamacallit, is with with these assholes. So I don't know. I'm just curious. I thought about it when I read his text. It sounds like he's trying to sell himself into a fight with her. I don't know how the public would receive it. I don't know if boxing commissions.
He could potentially be trying to do that.
That's what I think it is. That's all that I think it is. Honestly, I think he's trying to troll.
And if he is, then that's the sweet science that he's akin to, which is, causing a troll to cause a reaction, to cause a outrage, to set up the whole play. And if that whole play is to get Claressa back, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that to me that's a real boxer right there. Absolutely. But it also says something about him to like, okay, sure, I'll get a bag, but like also you want to fight a female? You know what I mean? Like, that's who you want to fight. That's who you want to take on. You want to fight a female rather than fight an actual male fighter. Not that she's, not to diminish her talent or her skills or anything like that. But he's a 190-pound dude. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's really what I'm trying to get at. Unless he's trying to somehow get or negotiate a fight between her and Serrano, like I honestly don't know. That is a fight that I'm not sure what actual fight Amanda Serrano fights at, but either way, I think that fight would be interesting if they could maybe fight at a catch weight. I'd love to see those two go together, but I don't know that I would want to see Jake Paul and fucking Claressa Shields. But I agree with you. I think in the times we live in today, who knows? Who the fuck knows what you could possibly see?
Everything's possible.
Yep, pretty much. And then I just wanted to go back real quick to just something that I guess popped into my head. I brought up the whole thing that I'm, trying to finish the documentary. It's been taking me forever, but I'm also taking my time with it because I want to enjoy it. The Four Kings or the Kings documentary where we had Duran, Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard. And I've seen a couple articles out there comparing four gentlemen from this generation right now to being those new kings of their weight division. Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, can I swap Ryan Garcia for Teofimo?
I think Teofimo is, so it's either Teofimo or, yeah, sure. I feel like it's Gervonta. People will throw Ryan Garcia in there for sure. Devin Haney, Teofimo, and then you have like the outlier of Shakur, who's right around that weight class.
Yeah. Are
we witnessing that right now? Do you think?
I mean, it's reminiscent. It's reminiscent. Who they will be in the history and legacy of boxing is still to be determined. So, that's what gives us the scope that we look at it and say, no, it's not that, because when you think of Hagler, Hearns, Leonard,
those guys are huge,
Duran,
like larger than life.
It's like you think about everything that they accomplished and the wars they was in, and just you have a reference point, and with exception of maybe Teofimo, none of these other guys have had a definitive fight that fully cements, their legacy, or not necessarily fully cement their legacy, but fully establishes them as the it. Like, without, you know what I mean? Right. Like the fight that did it. They don't have the fight that did it. You know what I mean? They have a lot of other things around it. Gervonta's getting pay-per-view. He's doing numbers. He's with the celebrities. They all come out for his fights. Speaking of which, sidebar, I thought it was pretty dope to see Kanye out
I meant to bring
Michael
that up.
B. Jordan out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these guys out for a Shakur Stevenson fight, man. Jersey, man.
The fact that Kanye was there, and I know Drake and Shakur have some history together, like positive history. I just thought that was weird and interesting. I also saw Jay Prince there too. So
well, you know, Jay Prince is behind.
Yeah, he can get everybody. He can get anybody out. So you know what I mean. He can get anybody outside.
But so like we're saying, though, I don't think anybody's had that definitive fight to where we can look at them the same way we look at, you know, the Hearns, the Haglers, the Duran, the Leonard, you know. But they're on their way. They running that course right now.
I think it's open ended. I think it remains to be seen. I think it is a little premature because I think Lomachenko is still in the mix despite his age. I don't believe in Ryan Garcia. Again, Ryan Garcia, we didn't even cover that shit, but he was supposed to fight Jojo Diaz and broke his hand or injured his hand supposedly and had to get emergency surgery. So now that fight is postponed because he's recovering from that. Again, something kind of throwing a monkey wrench into shit in 2021, which is it's never ending. Right. I don't know if I believe in Ryan Garcia at all yet. So to call him that is a little bit of a stretch for me. And I agree with you. I think that none of them really have had a career-defining fight. But at the same time, you know, you can make the argument that, obviously Leonard faced champions, Roberto Duran faced champions before they fought each other, but they didn't define their careers until that first
encounter with each other.
Right, until that first encounter with each other. And then the careers start to go on a different trajectory. You know what I mean? And then they all do. That's what I think it's going to take to solidify these guys is someone is going to have to fight someone else, and then maybe we'll finally fucking see like guys actually fucking fighting each other.
Yeah, right? No, they have to fight each other in order to even think about putting their names in a conversation like that.
Right.
That does not exist completely. Like it's a fantasy right now. It's a like a fetish in our mind of what we think this could be. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Trying to get that. Until they fight each other, it's really no conversation. It's really no comparison. It's just a dream, a childlike imagination. You know what I'm saying? It's not reality.
I'm with you.
That gotta happen.
I agree. We'll see within the next couple of years, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
With that being said, though, Gervonta Davis is on the schedule, I guess, for the rest of the year. Him and Rolly Romero are fighting next month? November or December? One of the two.
That's November, bro.
I think it's November too. I think it's the end of November. Because they're already on the press tour. I'm excited because I like Rolly because he's not backing down. He's not shy at all. He has a big fucking mouth.
he's unbelievably funny. Like I can't figure out if he really slow or this is just like his personality and he's just funny, or he just funny. Like I don't know what it is, yo. He's hilarious, man. Like it's like, yo, do he know he funny? Like, do he know he hilarious, or he think he cool right now? I don't know. I don't know if it's a joke or it's serious. Either way, I get a kick out of it. It's entertaining. I like seeing them talk back and forth. The press conference was interesting. Rolly keep claiming he gonna knock him out. We'll see how that goes.
We will see.
Tank is in his press conference carrying himself like, a little more grown, a little more mature, I think. His talking is not, his best point, his best attribute, but even in this joint, like he's saying what he need to say, and he's serious about what he has to say, and leaving it at that. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I like seeing it. I want to see him mature into that full grown man that he and champion that he should become. So I like seeing that.
I agree. I'm with you. I did notice a difference, and I'm hoping that he's, like you said, just starting to mature and starting to come into his own. I don't think Rolly has necessarily that big of a chance, but we'll see. I mean, either way, it's just an entertaining press conference leading up to the fight. I don't know if it's pay-per-view or not. I'm kind of hoping that it's not, but I have a feeling that it is.
It is pay-per-view, ain't it?
I guess, and that means I don't know. I'm gonna have to find a link because this isn't a fight that I didn't even pay for Gervonta's last fight. I didn't pay for the one before that, I don't think, and I don't know that I would pay for this one. I do want to see it. Don't get me wrong, but I can't yet. It's the opponent is not worthy yet of my $90 or $80 or however much it costs.
It's closer.
It's getting warmer.
It's closer.
We're getting warmer for sure. Yeah, but not there, not yet.
I understand that. It'll be Rolly's first pay-per-view appearance.
Yeah. He's still a young boy. They're both really young. So
yeah.
But one fight I would definitely pay for is just to chop it up a little bit is Shawn Porter versus Terrence Crawford. That is on the horizon. I'm excited for it.
Soon come. Me too, man.
Bring that fight on. Looking forward to it. Caleb Plant versus Canelo.
Well. Let me ask you this. With that fight,
which one?
Porter.
Okay.
Porter Crawford.
Yeah.
We see Bud. I mean, he was at the fights this past weekend. He was at the Shakur event. But outside of that, you don't see him. You know where he's at. You know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's in the gym.
On the other hand, we got Shawn Porter at every event that he's supposed to be at, that he's scheduled to be at, suited and booted, talking his stuff, doing weekly podcasts. A lot of extracurricular outside of the ring, like I'm looking towards my second act of my career, preparing to find my landing place when this is over. How much does that mentality and having the 1 foot in, 1 foot out, how much will that affect you coming in here now at the age you are now, against the prime dog?
I think it does affect him, but I think it also, it affects him. But I've seen him do it before. We've seen him do it. I mean, he's doing the podcast thing for a little while now. I think the announcing thing has been around for a little while now. I will ask you this. I'll rebuttal your question with another question. What weighs more? The fact that Terrence Crawford has had almost a 2-year layoff, or that Shawn Porter is doing all the extracurricular shit? What weighs more? You know what I mean? Because Bud's been training, but this still not a fucking fight.
Right.
Bud's had such a long layoff that I think that there will be some ring rust. I honestly do believe that. I think the first couple rounds, if Shawn pushes the pace, I think it could be interesting few, like maybe 3-4 rounds.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, either way, he's going to be in his chest all night. But
I think that Bud thinks that people think that. And being the dog that he's determined to rub it in your face that no, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't no ring rust. Ain't no none of that. I've been ready. I've been waiting for these. This ain't even what I want, but I'm gonna take this off the plate and wait and ask for seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the attitude he coming with. That's the mentality he has. He wants the big fights. He wants the big names. He wants his career defining fights. Like the undoubtedly undisputed, no question about it, who's the one of this generation. He wants that. So I don't see him ever taking his eyes off the prize of that, regardless of it's a 2-year layoff or however long. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think that ring rust is kind of a thing that you don't really have a choice in. But I do agree with you. I think he's been a dog, like, that's just who he is. You know what I mean? He's always in the gym. He's always training with other people. He's always sparring with bigger names, bigger guys, smaller guys, like trying to help coach people. I think his mind is extremely sharp. So that will, I think, carry him through. That's why I said the first couple rounds, I think, would be a little bit more interesting. But as it goes on, Shawn's been in some more wars and has a little bit more mileage on him than Bud does. And I think Bud, at the end of the day, I think it maybe goes 9 to 11 rounds. And then I do think Bud stops him, or maybe a ref jumps in, or you know what I mean. I don't know. It would be interesting to see though, because I think Porter can put pressure on him, and
absolutely,
we're just gonna see. We're gonna see how Bud Porter deals with
pressure on everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna make it ugly. So we know that, we expect that. I'll be interested to see if Bud brawls, and stays right there with him.
He said he would.
Or if he, uses the ring and boxes. It could go either way, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know he said he would, but I'm interested to see how it'll go throughout the duration of the fight, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Either way, we talked about it a bit. I mean, we've been talking about this fight. I am more excited for that fight, than the one we have coming up in a couple weeks.
Is it mandatory? Last question on that. Is it mandatory that Bud makes a statement with this Porter fight, looks better in this Porter fight than Errol Spence looked in his Porter fight?
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Why? For what? Fucking Errol Spence is in Dubai right now with his wife. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Errol Spence, I question whether or not, or what his future will look like, because the eye thing and, the injuries and all of that stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
We don't know if he'll ever return to his original form.
Right. Exactly. Here on
out, man. It's a lot. It's a lot with that.
It is.
And,
it is.
It sucks, man. It's really unfortunate. But, you can't. We always say you can't play you can't play boxing, but you can't play with life either, because you know what I mean. Just outside the ring is just as real.
Yeah,
you can change your future forever with just one wrong move.
So. Yeah, right, exactly. So I mean, he's taking care of himself. Let him do his thing. Let Errol Spence do his thing. But at the same time, like, what does Bud have left to prove? And I think he'll probably say the same thing. I don't have shit else to prove. I'm not calling out fucking Errol Spence anymore. I'm not doing that because, according to him, he doesn't want the fight. And obviously the other side says the same thing. But either way, we're getting the shit end at the stick as fans. We're not getting the fight. But, at this point, I think we've both kind of accepted it, that this fight is never, you know what I mean? If it happens, fantastic. But at some point, it's approaching like, all right, man, I'm fucking tired of waiting for this shit. I'm over it. Yeah. Like, I'm done. Yeah. There's other interesting stuff happening in this sport. You know what I mean?
Right. Indeed.
Again, I will say I am a little bit more excited for that fight, than the one coming up in 2 weeks in early November with Caleb and Canelo. I think that there is some bad blood there, but I'm ready to see that fight, and I just don't think nothing I've seen has changed my mind. I still just think Canelo's going to walk right through him. And we'll see what happens.
I mean, yeah. One would tend to believe that. One would tend to think that. I mean,
stranger things have happened. I agree, but I mean, you're talking about being able to you got to either outpoint Canelo or outpoint Canelo, because that's all you can do. Because you're not going to hurt him. Canelo has been hit by some of the better punchers in all of boxing, and he's never been down. Never.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. What was my man's name that he just broke his face?
Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders looked good for a few rounds, man.
He did, yeah. And everybody can. Everybody can.
If Caleb Plant can prolong those rounds of looking good and just not get knocked out.
Fam,
those are very big ifs, but if he can do that,
we've seen two people do that, and one won and one lost.
Fine.
Lara and Floyd. That's it. That's all that we've seen, and that was a different Canelo back then too. So
yeah, well, I mean, the third time could be the charm, man. Who knows?
We'll see, man. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Caleb Plant is not coming to lay down.
No, not by any stretch. I don't think so either. I think that kid has a dog in him that maybe some people don't understand. Maybe because he's a white boy, but like, you know what I mean? Maybe you don't see that too often. Right, he has the same dog that I think that Spence has, that maybe the Charlos have or Bud has or whatever have you. Like, I think he has that same hunger, that same drive in him. I just don't think that, like, you gotta keep him off of you for 12 fucking rounds.
Right.
Damn, that's a long time. That's a long time to not make mistakes, man.
Indeed.
I don't know.
We'll see, man.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. And I know we gotta roll, but I'm just gonna throw two more things out. First thing is Mikey Garcia lost to a gentleman that is, I don't want to say he's unknown because he was 38-2 or 37-2. But he lost to Sandor Martin, which I thought was interesting. I don't know, man. That kid's from Spain. He's a southpaw. Well, I mean, it is what it is. But I just thought that was interesting that man lost. So we'll see what happens with Mikey Garcia.
He ain't been the same since the Errol Spence.
Yeah, I agree.
Errol Spence fight.
And then on top of that, all right, two more things actually. I'm gonna cross them off the list. First thing is AJ we always talk about it, and I know we got to keep the conversation a little bit short, but Anthony Joshua is on an American tour right now to find a new fucking trainer, I think. This man has been to more fucking gyms, I think, than I have. And I've been to a lot of gyms throughout the fucking country, bro. Like, I've been to California, the Midwest, East Coast, down south. And this man has, in like a week, been to all of those gyms and more. He's been in Canelo's gym in Mexico with Eddie Rosano. I forget how to say his last name. I believe he was with Virgil Hunter. I think he's went to Kronk. I forget. I've seen him in so many different gyms lately, and he's clearly on an American tour trying to find a new trainer. So good for him. And on top of that,
at least he recognizes the issue and is trying to be proactive about it.
Yes, I agree. And on top of that, he I forget exactly what the quote was. I'm trying to find it right now, but basically he seems a little bit more pissed off. He seems a little bit more upset. He said, oh, here we go. But for me, I have one thing in mind. That's war and that's murder. That's war. Let's go out there and hurt that guy, to take his soul to the point where he wants to give up. That's what boxing's about, I've learned. You hit people constantly and keep on applying a certain amount of pressure before they know it, they'll realize you aren't going anywhere, you're here to stay. With that plan in mind, that's all I have to keep, or with the game plan, that's all I have in mind at the minute. That one track, stay on course, take this guy to places he doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
That's something that we've been looking to hear from him. You know
I don't know what's going on with this light, man, but yo, it's about time. It's about time that he get mad. It's about time that he, feel a way about what's going on. Cause you got to keep in mind, bro, he is having all of these issues with nemesis that aren't the real nemesis. Like, it was never about Andy Ruiz. It was never about Alexander Usyk.
That's fair.
You've been trying to get to the big dance with the big guys, and you can't seem to get there because everybody you get placed in front of you before them is taking you out. So he should be pissed because you're not even in the conversation no more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you one of the super heavyweights we talk about, 6'7" and 250 and all this, and you keep getting took off. You know what I mean? Took off the board. Yeah. So he should be pissed, and he's right where he need to be. Come to Black America, man. Get your soul back. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm excited to hear him talk like that. I think that's one of the first times. That's something that we talked about here, but that's one of the first times I remember hearing him be honest and kind of speak that way, I guess, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
Fuck all the politically correct. Fuck being polite. All of that.
Right. Exactly.
Like come to the dog houses of the world, and get what you need to get, man. I mean, you can't put it in. You can't completely put that in somebody. You know what I mean? Especially not this late in the game. But I mean, at least being around it, you might be able to identify with something that you didn't know you already had, and that's the best outcome we can get. You know what I mean? But we need him to turn up, man. Like, turn up or just sit down, because like. You supposed to be in the conversation, and you taking yourself out of the conversation. The more you keep taking losses to the people that, and not to take nothing away, not to take nothing away from them, because Alexander Usyk is a great fighter, all time great cruiserweight. You know what I mean? But and now heavyweight champ, but he wasn't in the conversation, and you allowed him to interject and X you off the list.
Yeah, second time we've seen those kind of things too.
Right.
Second time we've seen it. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see him talk that way. Let's see if it holds up. You know what I mean? Let's see if it really means something. What I'm most interested in is to see who he ends up starting to train with, because I think a change in mindset, a change in the way that you're training, a change in your scenery. Like, I really feel like he shouldn't be home anyways. You shouldn't be in the UK when you're training. Like, just like every other fighter goes away to train, you should be doing the same thing. Stop staying in that cushy little bubble, that fucking, you know what I mean? The homebody.
Everything's handed to you and
right.
all that. Yeah.
Exactly. Just go somewhere else. Go out of your element. Face other heavyweights that maybe will fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, iron sharpens iron, and you need to face that. You know what I mean? Right. So if you're not getting that work where you're at, you need to just change shit up, man. So I'm excited to see it. I think AJ has potential. He always has had potential, and let's see it get fully made into something else. I think that there's a history in the U.S. with heavyweights, with training heavyweights, from going all the way back to Dundee and all the way to currently with Kronk's gym. At Kronk something is in the water. You know what I mean? I feel like if you can get into the Black American mindset, I mean, I think we could experience greatness again. So
yeah. Well,
but we'll see, man.
I'm interested in seeing what'll happen, man.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
He's got, I don't know, man. Losses don't define a fighter.
Right.
And losses don't they don't, make you less of a champion per se. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's who and how he's losing to. He's got one more time. He's got one more time to do that for me.
Yeah.
He needs to redeem this and get to the big dance, or just hang it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, you in the way, man.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be over here making the prime time elite part of the division, of the biggest division, the most important division of boxing. You're supposed to be in that conversation. It's not even a conversation. It's a sentence. It's very short. It's a short list of names. And you're supposed to be in that. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got one more time to do some bamboozle me like this and just bow out gracefully before he even gets a chance to get to the real deal. And that's that on that for me.
I'm with you, bro. I am with you. Other than that, man, I don't got much else. One thing is Boots does fight this weekend. We do have a fight this weekend. Jaron Ennis is back in the ring. Excited to see him, because I think once that fight is said and done, and once he's done with his opponent right now, I think that
coming.
Yeah, I think the step up is coming. I think the conversation is there. I think it's gonna happen. I think somebody's gonna call out Bud, and that would be a fight I'd love to see. Because, granted, from a local perspective, I mean, take that with a grain of salt that it is local, like Philadelphia region. But like, a lot of people believe Boots can really, give Bud a run for his money and beat him.
Well,
they're both fighting they're both fighting soon, so that maybe we see that, first quarter of next year or something like that. That would be dope to see, that we have a new adversary.
Yeah.
So
I'd be interested to see it. Yeah, throw a new name in the hat.
Right, exactly.
Nobody else want to step up, and it's other guys out here capable.
Yeah, exactly. Hat, and Boots is a talented kid. He's very talented.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to see him fight this weekend, and then we'll see where his career goes from there. But I'll be tuned in. We'll be tuned in this weekend, and we'll probably recap before we get to Canelo Plant. You know what I mean? We should get there. We'll do probably have a pod in between then, and then after that, that's the big fight. So looking forward to it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Do you have a walkout, my guy?
Yeah, man. Apollo Ali shook on all streaming platforms right now. Make sure y'all check that joint out. Jersey Flow walkout coming soon. You heard?
All right, bet. Let's run it again.
Yep.
All right, man. I still want my own. I mean, you know what I'm gonna do? I already know what I was gonna do, so I feel good about it. I knew that you was picking yourself. I didn't know that you was doing that. I'm gonna go with your homie. Rest in peace, Sean Price, Barbarian.
That's a good joint.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Phantom Punch Podcast. That's another one in the books.
Yeah.
I know you got your joint.
Yo, man, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at Phantom Punch Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Phantom Punch Pod. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, salute to every fighter that enters the ring. Boxing is the hurt business. We're going to be here to continue to cover it for y'all. And we catch y'all next week, man.
Peace.
Peace.